groups have that ability to not just impact the individuals or the participants in the group, but also the leaders.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today for another Vision Update. My name is Jane, and today we're going to be speaking to the Formations and Missions Pastor, Erin Feiser. Erin has been a part of White Oak since 1998 and has been on staff since 2013, beginning this new role back in 2024. Erin, thanks so much for speaking with us today.
You're welcome.
Oh, it's so good to just be able to share this space with you. And my first question for you in regards to the work that you do, what first drew you to small groups ministry? Why has it stayed such a passion for you? Because I can just hear the passion in your voice as you share about it.
It was interesting because as I was preparing for today, I started to think about my own journey of being a part of life groups. And I've been a part of White Oak now for 25 plus years. And quite honestly, I can't think of any season of my life where I was not either a part of as a participant or leading a life group. And so I look back and I think I was a part of groups with young moms. I was a part of couples groups. I've been a part of women's groups. I've led young adult groups. I've led couples groups. And so it's just vital. It's been a vital part of my faith journey, and I want others to experience that same growth that can happen through our groups.
Yeah, what I hear in that is as we grow as people in different seasons of life, it feels like you found groups that just fit those different seasons for you at those right times. Yep. And it's amazing how community can be that catalyst for growth in our spiritual walk. Absolutely. So in your years of leading and being a part of groups, what's something that you have learned about people? And I'm going to also throw in what you've learned about God through those people.
I'm going to start with the second question.
Okay, go for it.
So remind me what I've learned about people and what I've learned about God. Okay. I've learned that people are really messy. We are really broken, screwed up, messy. Like relationships are just messy.
Yeah.
And so that messiness and that brokenness can push you away from community if you allow it. But I've also learned that community can be one of the greatest healers. And so for me, my walk with relationships and with people, there have been seasons where I've run from being in community because I've been broken or I've been hurt or I've been wounded, but I've also found that some of the greatest healing in my walk with people and with the Lord has come through relationships. I've learned that God is so patient with us. Throughout my years of being in life groups, I kept seeking, I kept wanting to know more. I talked about how I'm that person that wants to know what I'm committing to.
Yeah.
And God was just so patient with me all those years of just waiting for me to get there.
Yeah.
And he's just like, come on, you'll get there. Just keep coming.
Yeah. I resonate with that, Erin. I love, I think it's Psalm 27:14 says, wait upon the Lord. And we think about patience as like, okay, I'm waiting on you, God. And one day he was kind of like, well, I wait on you too.
All the time.
And it's like, okay, heard. You have been heard. So I love that's something you've resonated in your walk through small groups and along messy people and all the things, and because we're all hot messes. And
you're also reminding me that when I first started out in groups, there was this woman who invited me to be in our group, and she was an older woman. Her name was Donna Cole, and she was just such a faith-filled, gracious woman.
Yeah.
But I aspired to be like her. And the reality is, we never arrive. That's the crazy part is, we have this picture in our mind of what we want our faith journey or our relationship with God to be. And he's like, just keep taking the next step. Just keep taking the next step closer to me. And so I'm just reminded that while we might have this picture of what we want it to be, we never arrive at that picture.
Yeah.
Until eternity. So.
Yeah. And that can be a hard tension to hold, admittedly. Well, you kind of alluded to this in what you just shared, but how have you seen small groups make a difference in someone's spiritual growth?
Yeah. Groups have that ability to not just impact the individuals or the participants in the group, but also the leaders.
Yeah.
Just recently, I've seen a lot of leaders stepping out in faith and courage. Leaders who have never led for the first time, but knew that we needed to create space for others. And so they stepped into leading really without having ever led a life group.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but just saying, hey, I've been the beneficiary of a dynamic group, and I want to create that space for someone else. So that's one place that I have seen people growing in our life groups. Week after week after week, I receive names of people who have first started attending White Oak. They're new, and I don't feel like it's taking people as long to step into community. They're saying, I want more than just what I get on Sunday mornings. And I think that's a powerful step. Again, when someone says, I'm attending on Sunday mornings, but I want to grow deeper during the week and I want to be connected to my church family. The other really cool thing that's been happening in our life groups this fall is I challenged our life group leaders back in July and August to start to look for opportunities to serve and be deployed outside of their groups.
Wow.
And it's really fun to hear some of the stories coming in. We have what I'll call an older moms group.
Okay.
It's not a moms group, but it's a group of women who are moms and grandmas. And they have adopted one of our White Oak moms groups.
Oh, cool.
And so they are leaving notes of encouragement. They're leaving snacks or treats for these women. And they just are recognizing what it was like to be a young mom, and they're encouraging them. We have a group of women at our Ross campus who, it's just a beautiful thing, but when someone passes away and they're experiencing death and grief, there's this group of women who show up 3, 6, 9 months later and just remind the person with a gift and say, hey, we know that now that the dust has settled, a lot of your friends and family have gone back to normal life, and yet you are still sitting with this very real loss. And we want you to know that we remember you and you're seen, and we're walking with you and praying for you in that grief. We have several life groups who are serving at a homeless shelter in Hamilton. And so they are serving dinner to homeless individuals on Friday nights and just encouraging them and praying for them. And so I'm excited to see how our life groups are becoming deployed on mission and not just seeking the Lord for their own benefit.
Yeah. So, Erin, when you think about the future of White Oak, what excites you the most right now?
When I think about the future, or what excites me right now?
Oh, yes.
Because that is a both and.
Both and.
Okay.
Both.
What excites me right now is that we have so many groups that are busting at the seams.
That's awesome.
And I have been having conversations with several life group leaders lately who have just said, we need to be a little bit smaller so that we can be more intimate in our groups and have deeper conversations. And not that deep conversation can't happen in a large group, but there's something different when you are sitting with 3, 4, 5, 8 people versus 18 to 20. And so I've been having conversations with a lot of life group leaders lately to say, what would it look like for your group to multiply through division? And so a lot of our life group leaders are starting to look at their groups and they're starting to ask the question, who in my group is being equipped right now to lead a group starting in January or starting in fall of 2026? And I believe that our best training ground is when someone has experienced a quality growing life group. And so many of our life group leaders that will be coming down the road are participants right now in our life groups.
Wow.
And so I see a lot more groups being added. While it feels like it's really far away, it really is not that far away. But I remember what it was like to have young children and struggling to be a part of a group with my husband and wanting to make that a priority. And so I am working to creatively think about and approach how do we create groups that allow our young families to connect in and not feel as though they are taking away from their family or their kids, but they are also elevating the need to be in a group and be in community with others. So we're looking at some creative ways to make that happen. And the other thing I'm probably really excited about is, and I haven't told anyone this yet. So I feel, well, there's one person that knows, but this is cutting edge.
Yes.
I know. I recognize that I cannot lead 46 life group leaders the way I want. I'm one person, and I can't coach and develop and encourage and disciple 46 people. And Jesus didn't do it. I sure can't do it.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I'm marinating on and crunching on and starting to prepare for is what it looks like to develop a life group leadership team.
Wow.
So that we have coaches and individuals who can be meeting regularly with our life group leaders and just really being a resource to them to encourage, develop, equip, challenge, and just have those really meaningful, hard conversations about maybe I have this situation going on in my life group and I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know how to navigate this. So one of the things I'm working on is working to create a leadership team for our life groups.
That's incredible. I love that. I think that's so wise for you as a leader to understand the limits you have as a leader, and also like you're inviting others to the table to be like, hey, I see something in you and let's grow in your leadership development together.
The hard part, though, is that these 46 life group leaders are amazing.
Of course.
And I want to spend time with them, and yet I got to share the love.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a tension there. In light of just, we really have been focusing as a church on formation, what that looks like to be spiritually formed, right? And when we make space for, God to work in us and to shape us and for Jesus to show us the way forward, he takes us deeper and he reveals things to us that maybe we didn't see that there was there before. And since we started this focus like over a year ago on formation and what it means to be shaped and formed by God, what do you sense God is doing in this season across our church, and how are groups helping people respond to that?
There is, I think our world is really starting to realize that, we've turned to all these things. We've turned to our careers. We've turned to social media, we've turned to the news, we've turned to our families, like we've turned to all these things, looking for our desires to be satisfied. And we are just left so empty. And I see it over and over again in conversations, especially with our young adults who are just longing for, they're trying to figure out their identity. They're seeking and they're searching, and they just keep coming up empty. And so we are seeing over and over again people turning to the church, and asking and seeking and searching. And I think that that's a role that White Oak will play in this next season is helping people to discover their identity. And it's a God-given identity. It's something that God puts in us. Which is what's so fun about seeing individuals seek after something that satisfies.
No, I agree with you. That emptiness feeling is real, especially when you have built on a foundation that is going to crumble like sand does, and what I've been seeing and noticing is once we come back to God and we start building upon his foundation with him. That's the other piece of it, right? He wants to partner with us. That's how we were created, right? And wants to form us through that experience. It is like, what are you building your identity on, right? And so my last and final question for you today is just, I think what we need right now more than ever is hope. And so I'm curious, how do you hope this next season will move us closer to being the kind of church God is calling us to be.
I hope that everyone will say yes to the invitation to join a group. But I also hope that our groups are places where we're real and we are authentic, and we don't show up pretending life is happening a certain way, but that we get really real with one another.
Yeah.
And that is happening. But I want to see more of that.
Yeah.
And I want so badly to reach the lost community. And so our groups are a place where we get to be built up and encouraged and developed and equipped so that we can go out and reach a lost, broken world. And whether that's in our schools, our workplaces, our communities, our neighborhoods, at the kids' soccer game, wherever it is, we are those vessels of hope. And so we have to be encouraged and developed in that so that we can be that for others.
Yeah. We need to show up. We need to show up.
That's right.
And show out. So
That's right.
Well, Erin, thank you so much for sharing with us today. And thank you for listening. Be sure to check out our website at thewocc.com to catch up on messages, hear formation stories, and more. So let's keep growing and connecting together.